The adventure story begins by describing two brothers named Smite and Nemesis, who possessed extraordinary creative powers that were completely unavailable to ordinary people. However, until now, they hadn't fully realized how to use their powers. As time passed, everyone became aware of these two brothers. Smite and Nemesis would inadvertently use their powers, causing chaos everywhere. People became very afraid, fearing that these brothers could become a danger to them in the future. Everyone conspired to kill Smite and Nemesis, setting fire to their home. Their entire house began to burn, but even after such a big incident, nothing happened to Smite and Nemesis because they had supernatural powers. Eventually, their parents, who were normal humans, tragically died in the fire. This incident shattered Smite and Nemesis completely. However, their parents were not at fault in any of this. Sarat, their elder brother, started to think that perhaps people had attacked them because of their unknown powers. Therefore, he decided to use his powers wisely and help people throughout the city. But Nemesis didn't think like that at all. Actually, he was filled with rage because those people had killed his parents. Nemesis started walking on the path of evil because of all these things, killing anyone who came in front of him. Smite recently found out about his brother Nemesis being on the path of evil, so Smite tried his best to stop his brother. On one side, Nemesis spread evil, while on the other side, Meridine corrected them and saved people. But here, Nemesis had created a hammer with his powers that could kill his elder brother Smite. And this was the only weapon that hurt both brothers a lot. One day, they were fighting like this, and a big explosion occurred there. It was such a big explosion that both brothers were affected by it. Since then, all the citizens thought that both brothers had died in that explosion because Smite and Nemesis were not seen after that. Now, inside the same city, a boy named Sam is shown. And Sam was a big fan of Smite. He thought that Smite, who was the protector of goodness, was still alive and always helped needy people. Sam's mom used to work as a nurse at a hospital and was currently on duty there. She had told Sam to do all the household chores. It was evening when Sam went out to throw garbage in the dumpster when he saw Nemesis' symbol on a box. Sam didn't like Nemesis at all, so he sprayed Maritane's symbol there. A while later, a neighbor of Sam came there, who was an old man. He took out some strange technical items from the garbage box, repaired them, and sold them. Sam started noticing that the old man looked very strange. Actually, Sam's neighbor didn't mingle much with anyone. He liked to stay alone. Now, when Sam returns home, he finds a notice on his door because his mom hadn't paid the rent for a long time, and there was no other option. Sam sits outside the house and starts drawing his hero. Then, Sam sees his neighbor and asks him what's in his hand. That's when the neighbor revealed that this is a damaged radio that he would repair and send. The old man saw the broken watch in Sam's hand, but Sam refused immediately. Sam had started worrying about the fact that his mom couldn't afford to pay the rent, so he would have to take care of the house's responsibility and earn some money. Sam meets a friend now who was telling him that if he wants to earn some money, go with his black friend. Sam goes with him without any thought. Stuart took him to an apartment where the two were looking for necessary items and stole from there. Sam was very fond of this, because he had plenty of things to eat and drink, but Stuart told Sam that if he wanted to make more money than this, then he knew a gang member named Brian, who used to rob in this way that we would get a lot of money from him. Stuart then immediately went to the gangster named Brian. Brian had instructed his team members to bring any stolen goods to him no matter how. Then a small man named Leo tells everyone that they will steal from a shopkeeper's shop. Sam and Stuart's job was to distract the shopkeeper in any way possible. So Sam immediately puts a cap on his head and goes straight into the shop, distracting the shopkeeper. In the midst of all this, Leo and his friends quickly picked up many boxes and ran away with them. After all the theft was over and they reached their hideout, it turned out that there were only packets of chips inside the boxes. Leo was very scared because if Brian finds out about this, he will punish him severely. So now Leo starts blaming Sam for everything and an argument ensues between them. Just then, their team leader Brian arrives. When Brian asked Sam how old he was, Sam replied that he was 15 years old. Brian was very impressed because Sam could do so much at such a young age. So Brian happily gave Sam $100. Now Sam quickly returns home where the landlord was asking his mom for rent. Sam's mother was very worried because they didn't have any money right now. But now Sam gave the dollars he earned to his mother, who returned it to the landlord. This means that Sam paid the rent with the money he earned. When Sam was going to school, Leo and his accomplices surrounded him to beat him up. Sam was shouting loudly for help when suddenly Sam's neighbor arrived at the scene, an old man named Kevin. He started helping Sam, displaying considerable strength. He began eliminating Leo's men one by one. Seeing this, it seemed like Kevin possessed some supernatural powers, as he effortlessly dispatched them with great force. When Leo approached with a knife to attack, Kevin grabbed and broke the knife with his bare hands. After witnessing all this, Sam was now certain that Kevin was indeed Meriton, because Meriton also possessed similar extraordinary abilities. Kevin defeated Leo and all the thugs, allowing Sam to escape safely. However, Sam remained suspicious of Kevin and began keeping a close watch on him. From the window, Sam kept an eye on Kevin, and when Kevin took off his clothes, there were deep scars visible on his back. Sam related this moment to when a big explosion had occurred, and maybe Kevin, Meriton, had been severely injured. Sam started collecting his evidence in a similar manner because he too wanted to become a brave warrior like Meriton. On the other hand, we were shown all the gangsters' leader, Brian, who had become a fake police officer with his companions and had gone to his headquarters, and now Brian and all his companions had gone to the Nemesis chamber where his mask and a magical hammer were kept. Brian was a bad man who was a big fan of Nemesis, so now he had kept the magical hammer made by Nemesis with him. Because of that hammer, Brian's power was significantly increased, and now he could use this power to do something bad. Here Sam started keeping an eye on Kevin and went to his apartment, where Sam noticed that there are many articles about this merit in the album, and there is also an album there, so Sam immediately the album arrived at his house when Kevin came to his apartment. Then he found out that the album had been stolen, which was not done by anyone else but Sam himself. That's why Kevin went to Sam's house and told his mom everything. Sam's mom was scolding him that he shouldn't steal from someone's house like this. But Sam was saying that I am a big fan of Meriton and I want all his things. After taking the album, Kevin comes out with Sam. Sam told his mind that I think you are Meriton, but Kevin was ignoring all his talk. Then suddenly, Leo arrives at the scene with his companions in a car. Kevin was already very angry at Leo because he had beaten his companions a lot. Kevin was talking to Sam when Leo suddenly hit him at a very high speed with the car. During this whole accident, Kevin was in very bad condition, and his bones were also broken. Sam was very scared and felt that Kevin might die now. But within a short time, Kevin's all bones started joining, and now he stood on both his feet. Slowly, he became completely normal, as if some magic was happening. Sam started saying immediately that I already knew that you are Meriton. Kevin took Sam straight home and started bathing with cold water. He started eating very cold ice cream too, after which he became normal. Sam could not understand these things, so Kevin tells him that the lower temperature I stay, the more my powers increase, and if even a little heat touches my body, I can blast. Sam was very excited because he had finally found his superhero after so many years. But seeing this, it seemed like Kevin was not properly using his superpowers. He was living a normal life where there was no value. On the other hand, we are shown Brian, who had taken Nemesis's mask and his magical hammer and started causing destruction all around. Brian started saying to everyone that I am Nemesis, and Nemesis has returned after so many years because of this magical hammer. So much dark power was coming out that Brian could do anything. All the news channels and people started getting scared again because Nemesis was a very bad superhero. He had powers, but he used all these powers for bad deeds like taking people's lives, so it was very normal for him. David also now sees all these things on the news, but for some reason he was not reacting too much. Here Sam wanted to be a very good superhero like Meriton, so he told Kevin to give him a lot of training so that I can become a good warrior. From the next day Kevin started training Sam so that he can increase his fighting skills. Sam one day trained, but suddenly he hit a punch on his stomach, and here Kevin's apes were so strong that Sam's hand started to hurt. Kevin gave snow to Sam, inside which he put his hand and corrected, but now Sam kept talking to Kevin. He asked about his brother Nemesis. Kevin got very angry and he told Sam in a lot of frustration from here to go away. Sam was also a very ego boy. He used to keep his self-respect very well, so now Kevin, on the advice of has, remembers that because Brian he all that do me very had he said tells for Brian. Reached and be had the to all of Brian's the gang do work for everyone was not be the an ambush of so he was because of the now my is a witch so he will they are to follow from the Sam was feeling that all for the you is there for everyone's good when you do a father's office officer to be killed by him the in the work in for the thing too, and when Sam sees all these things to see the things of it. Because this bloodshed was something he never expected. Now, Sam wanted to leave that place by any means necessary because he didn't want to become a bad person like Brian and Nemesis. Now, as Sam was moving towards his home, he suddenly saw Leo and all his men beating his dearest friend Stuart. So, Sam immediately went towards them and started to rescue his friend. Leo and his companions began to attack Sam and started to injure him. They were planning to kidnap Sam and take him along when suddenly Kevin saw them through the window. After which, Leo and all his companions ran away from there, scared. Sam was in such a bad condition that Kevin picked him up and took him to the hospital. Meanwhile, Leo and all his companions reached their leader Brian. They had already told him everything about Kevin, saying that yesterday we killed that man with our car, but today he has come back to life. When Brian saw his car and found out that after such an accident, no one could survive, he told his men that I need that man at any cost. Because now Brian came to know that somewhere inside that man, my son's power is present. Now Sam was badly injured here, so he was asked to arrest in the hospital. When Kevin was returning from the hospital towards his home, many members of Brian surrounded him. Actually, they had come to take Kevin away by kidnapping him. But they didn't know that these things were not going to be so easy. All of them continued to attack Kevin, but Kevin easily beat them up and threw them away. Although one gang member was firing a lot of bullets at him. But those small bullets didn't affect Kevin at all. Now he shows a bit more of his powers and starts killing all those people. However, one gang member was so dangerous that he threw a grenade there. Kevin quickly saves a girl there and hides behind a car. Although he survived the explosion from the grenade, now all these things were being watched by all the citizens walking on the road. They even made Kevin's video, showing that he has superpowers. Now everyone recognized Kevin, that he is the same Samaritan. Kevin's talks were going on all the news channels. That's why Kevin decided to leave the city forever, because he had hidden his identity for some reason that he didn't want to reveal to everyone. But within a short time, Brian arrives there with all his men. He barges into Kevin's apartment and starts firing a lot of bullets to catch Kevin red-handed. But sadly, Kevin wasn't found there. Right in front of Kevin's house, Sam and his mom were also present, watching all these things. But when Brian saw Sam's face, he told his men to catch that girl because I have seen her with Kevin many times. And if we catch her, we can find out about Kevin. That's why all of Brian's associates continuously armed themselves and went to Sam's apartment, who were following her to catch him. Sam and his mom were very scared of these things and managed to save their lives by running away. But in front of so many gang members, what could they do? Those gang members had already kidnapped Sam, taking him away with them. Sam's mother was crying a lot for her son. On the other hand, now Kevin was sitting at the airport so that he could go far away from the city. But in his hand was Sam's watch, so he was thinking of returning this watch to Sam. As soon as Kevin reaches Sam's apartment, everything was scattered there. Sam's mother was there, who told Kevin that these thugs took my son away. Kevin understands that this could not be anyone else but Brian and all his associates. Because there was no other way, Kevin decided that he would now save Sam at any cost. He picked up a truck parked on the side, which was filled with a lot of petrol, and now he goes straight with it to the base where Brian is present with his companions. Actually, Brian had already captured Sam and now he is planning to blast a power plant, because in his mind was going on that he could steal all the electricity of the entire city. So that no one could see them, and if anyone saw them, Brian would set them on fire. But within a short time, Kevin arrives there with a truck, which had started to destroy the entire base from the beginning. Sam was very happy with this thing that now Kevin will save him, but Brian, who had the powerful hammer of Nemesis, started to bring him down. Brian says that I already knew that you are Merritt, who are hiding your identity and living in the city. But now I have your brother Nemesis hammer, with which you can be killed very easily. And now I will fulfill the dream of Nemesis. Brian started hitting Kevin quite a lot with this magical hammer. Kevin could not bear it at all. Kevin was slowly becoming quite weak. Now as soon as Brian releases the full energy of the hammer to kill Kevin, then Kevin had already caught the hammer with his hand. Brian was shocked because Merritt couldn't control this hammer at all. Finally, Kevin reveals all these things. Kevin reveals a dark reality when he tells that I am not Merritt, but Nemesis, and for so many years I have hidden my identity. Actually, when the battle between Nemesis and Smite was going on, Smite died in that explosion. That means Nemesis has been alive since then. But after his older brother's death, he completely abandoned the path of evil, and since then Nemesis has been living a normal human life. But now Brian had attacked Nemesis with that hammer, awakening him again. So now Nemesis, who is Kevin, started killing all the people, which seemed quite terrifying to see. There were so many gangsters present at that place, but no one was able to face Kevin, that is, Nemesis. All the gangsters were attacking Nemesis together, but none of it had any effect on his body. Nemesis went inside to save Sam, whom Brian had tied up. But Brian immediately instructed his people to cut off the entire city's power. Within a short time, all the electricity of the entire city went away, causing many members of Brian's gangs to spread all around and start committing crimes. All-around destruction was happening as Brian wanted. Now Brian, who started fighting with Nemesis, who had come in front of him to stop all these things, began to fight with him. A very big blast inside the base had started burning completely, due to which Brian, who was hitting Nemesis with that hammer, did not have much effect on Nemesis. But fire was burning all around, that's why Nemesis began to get tired. Now Brian would fight with him that he was burning in a big blast inside the base. However, Brian was hitting Nemesis with the hammer from the top, but the effect of the fire was all around, because of which the spirit of Nemesis began to come, so Brian took a lot of kills at that time, and now Sam did a job of bravery here. Although Brian, in his anger, lifts Sam up, seeing a good opportunity here, Nemesis stands up again and places Brian aside, lifting him up. Brian had been thrown into the burning fire. However, Brian is now deceased, and due to the fire spreading all around, Nemesis also becomes quite weak. If he stays in such high temperatures, his body will immediately blast. Therefore, Sam quickly turns on a water pipe there, continuously pouring it onto Nemesis' body. Due to the cold water, Nemesis' body returns to normal, and now he grabs Sam because the building was about to collapse, before any accident occurred. Nemesis takes Sam and jumps onto another building. Finally, Nemesis saved Sam's life. Nemesis tells Sam not to say anything about him, and he's leaving from here. But whenever Sam needs him, he will come there. Sam says that although you are Nemesis, from today onwards, you have become my savior, who helps needy people. Nemesis says thank you and leaves. Within a short time, many reporters had arrived there, asking Sam what had happened. Sam tells them that Maritine saved his life. Hearing Smite's name, everyone was quite pleased because he was with humans and helped needy people. Nemesis now sets off for another city where he will help people in exchange for his brother. Although Nemesis initially walked the path of evil, later he remembered all the words of his brother and now he has become a good person. With this, our superhero story ends here.